series is
I'm
exclusive
gonna light
to
it up because
PlayStation,
I like
and there's no
this.
telling if Sony
Dude, can
would
you
be willing
imagine
to
the
let other
Big
gamers
Daddy and
play with their
fucking
toys.
Dead
Well,
by
that's what I
Daylight?
was
just talking
properties
about.
Bro, I
would
swear
Hard
to
as
God,
it
and
is,
who would be
this
the
is also the part of
survivor?
video where I
Ryan?
cross out
No.
Death Note
Make it
DLC.
Ryan,
While I think
please.
that an
Jack
anime
or
chapter
Ah,
may well
don't
come to the
make
game at
it
some point.
Ryan.
I
That's
don't
my
believe
name.
This is that
That would be
point.
really
Still,
cool, yeah.
But
if
dude,
it's going
look,
to
okay,
happen,
so we
I do
look at
believe
this.
it will be one
I
of
go
these two properties.
Bioshock.
Maybe next time, friends. Also,
This
as a quick
maybe,
side
I
note,
don't
I
know.
don't
if
watch
I'm
a lot of
into
anime, so if
I don't know
made
about
a
this.
terrible
Then I
mistake
go.
including
I do
either of
Alien,
those,
Candyman,
I
Friday the
apologize.
13th,
Again,
Predator.
I don't know much about it. But that's kind of the point.
It almost
I know
goes
very
in this
little about
order.
anime, and I still
But
know
I
about
really
Death
like
Note, so
Alien, you know what I
think
mean?
that in
Like, I
terms of
would go
mass
Alien.
appeal, you definitely have something to work with there.
I
But
still don't
again, I
understand
don't
why there
think
was
it
an
happens
anime
this time
section. I'm
around.
glad that Buddy
Yes,
just
Okay,
cut
cool.
that
he
shit
cut
out.
it
Almost to the top
completely
10.
out.
I already
You see,
mentioned
he's
it
like
in the last
anime
video, so
section.
let me go on and
Nah,
say, I
yeah,
don't
you guys
think
can
we'll be
vote,
seeing
but no.
Until Dawn
And there
this
was
time
like a
around.
whole like
The game is
6
fairly
left.
easy
He
as
just
a
said,
chapter to
"Get out of here."
conceptualize, that is, as the game provides a recognizable killer, map, and enough survivors that even the legendary
This is
skins would
only
be largely set in
zombies. You know what I
stone.
mean?
In terms of
Doesn't make
accessibility,
sense.
Until Dawn is
This
a slam
thing,
dunk.
if you
Despite
could
this,
absorb
I
the
doubt the
people
game
and
is
gain their
announced as the
like or
anniversary
cancel
chapter.
other people's abilities.
I believe it to be entirely
like
possible
if I have DS
that
and
Until
you
Dawn
eat
comes
me,
to DBD one
everybody
day,
else's DS
but for now they're
stops.
just far
That
larger
would
fish
work
to
for the
fry.
thing.
The same goes for
Predator,
the Evil Within,
okay,
which is in
okay,
almost the exact same position, just
Jason,
with even less
okay,
fanfare. While it's
Candyman,
easy to
okay, Alien,
conceptualize
okay,
a chapter where the
Bioshock,
keeper is
Big,
the
yeah,
killer
I
and Sebastian
expect
is
Big
the
Daddy,
survivor. There's just not
or
enough
the
clamor
what's
to
the
make
other
this an
lady,
appetizing choice at the present
Big
moment.
Mama.
Closing out
Yeah,
this
that.
portion, let's also
Dead
eliminate
Space and these things I
It
don't
may
know
be one of the
about,
most
so I don't
iconic
know
horror
if I
films
would
of all
be
time,
like.
and
I don't
debatably
know
my
what Dead
favorite horror
Space
film
and
of all
Five Nights
time.
at Freddy's.
But adding
and
this chapter
I know
would
this has
require
a
an
bunch of
imposter
different
mechanic,
people.
which I
Maybe you
just
could
don't
have
see
multiple
behavior
killers.
doing. Because
You
I'm
know what I
really
mean?
bad at
And that
math,
would be cool
we
'cause
actually
they've
ended up with a
multiple
final
survivors.
9 instead of a final
Never
10,
had
so
multiple
that's
killers.
cool too. I
You
could
know
very
that, right?
realistically see
Yeah,
any of these
but-
properties being added during the 6th anniversary. Each makes a compelling case in and of itself. And, you know, none of them would truly
Out of
shock
those,
me, right?
I
Like,
would
they all
guess.
do make
If
sense.
I had to
as
guess
the
which one
upcoming
would
chapter.
come up,
As I look at
it
the
would
list of
be-
remaining properties, I can't help but feel like one of these
It would
things
be
is not like the others.
Bioshock, The
For whatever
Walking
reason, I
Dead.
just don't think The Walking Dead belongs here. Sure, it's a massive
I
franchise
think it
that would
does.
likely bring
I
in
think
new
it does
players,
because
but I
it's
doubt it happens
over
for
and they
several
want to try to
reasons.
keep it
For one
alive.
thing, the show is
But I
not
would
what
go
it used to be.
Bioshock,
While its numbers are still
The
pretty
Walking
impressive,
Dead.
they aren't close to what they were. The show has gone way downhill in terms of popularity, and just
Only if
wouldn't
they're
be
gonna
the
do a bunch
acquisition
of
that it would have
killers
been
when
a
I
few
say
years
Five
ago.
Nights at
There's also the issue of
Know
who
what
the
I mean?
killer would be, as a
Only if
walker
they're gonna
isn't
do,
very
like, 3
intimidating.
killers or something.
I'd assume they'd use Negan or the Governor, but neither of those gel very
Negan
well
or
with
the
the existing
Governor.
cast of killers.
Once again,
and then of course
like,
there's also the issue
Governor's the
of
original one,
Nemesis
Negan's
from Resident
number 2,
Evil.
you know what I
could
mean?
argue that
Like,
having
you
a zombie
when you
mechanic
start
already
that,
in the game actually
thing,
ups
I
the
don't know
chances
what's
of
a lot
Walking Dead, but I would argue otherwise. I think that they would likely argue that, hey,
just don't see
zombies
The
are
Walking
already
Dead
in the
really
game,
fitting in
there's no
that
need to go out and
area,
get more.
though.
For the
Like,
sake of narrowing down
It
our
just
list,
doesn't make
let's
any
just
sense.
Once
do
again,
away
it
with
has-
Walking
it
Dead.
can't be a
Because I don't
zombie,
want to
it's
keep you
gotta
here all
be,
day,
like,
I'm going to
Negan
cut
or-
4 at once here. Those being
But what's-
Alien,
yeah, it's
Predator,
kinda hard.
Bioshock,
How you
and
give
Dead Space.
Negan or
All 4 of these
the
would be
Governor of
amazing
Power?
chapters.
You know
But
what I
they
mean?
do
Like,
have
can
their
he
reasons
shoot
to
you?
be doubted. As a franchise, Bioshock has been long
You're just
dead,
like,
and Predator
oh
has
shit,
done
he
nothing
got
but failure in
me.
its recent
It's
outings.
fucking Negan. He
Even
shot
meaningful
me.
That was
films.
the same
I don't have
problem
strong
Good,
reasons
good,
for
good,
loving
good.
the
Alien and
animes
Dead Space,
and Hellsing.
other than that there's been
Oh,
absolutely
dude,
nothing
I
to
would've-
suggest
Van
that these
Helsing would've been
franchises
the
are going
first
to
name I
happen,
knocked off the
other
list,
than the
you know that,
survey.
right?
It would also be
because,
Dead by Daylight's
like,
first
if you're
venture into
looking at it on the other side,
sci-fi,
if you
which,
pick the
look, I
vampires
think
and you
they
pick
have to
something
take that
badass
leap
like
at some
Alucard,
point, but
Alucard
it
runs
would
around
be
shooting
pretty notable if
people
they did
with
it here.
guns.
For what it's worth,
And then if you
either
go
of
to
those
the other
chapters would
side
make
and
me
you have,
extremely happy, and I hope they happen. Now we're down to the final 4, and I want to make a strong prediction. The year 6 anniversary chapter will be one of these 4 licenses.
Yeah, I don't know what his
I
name
could be
is.
way off base.
I
could be
like
wrong.
Van Helsing,
I
but
could
not
look
a lot.
back at this in a few months
That guy
and
would
laugh
be
at
pretty
how
cool to have
wrong
as a
I
killer,
was.
who would
But
be
I
the
feel good about
survivor, the
this.
police
Or
lady? And
And it's just weird.
Fannie Mae S'more Snack Mix. When premium ingredients like crunchy grahams, fluffy marshmallows, and creamy milk chocolate come together, memories are made forever. Fannie Mae, together is timeless.
They had fucking, what's the damn? But yeah, you know that, like, XQC was
at least as good as somebody can feel when really taking a stab in the dark. Let's explain the case for each of these 4 remaining licenses. Candyman makes sense on all levels but one. He's long since been rumored to have been in the works. Actor Tony Todd followed DBD on Twitter. The franchise recently received a reboot, and the killer has easy abilities to translate to DBD.
Bees,
the only issue
and make it whatever you want. You know
this
what I
would
mean?
be a bit of a dud
he's about
compared to
bees.
past announcements. Now, let me be clear. I love the original Candyman. I think it's a great movie. I've watched it numerous times. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But can you honestly tell me that adding Candyman to Dead by Daylight would send the same shockwaves as adding Ghostface, Pyramid Head, or Nemesis? I think Candyman is on more equal footing with the likes of, say,
you're kind
Pinhead.
of right.
And even then, I feel he's the less iconic of the two.
I would expect him to do more.
If Candyman were added, I think he would be the second least recognizable licensed property, at least amongst the killers, probably only passing Amanda Young. And even then, the Saw property itself is more popular. It's just that Amanda as a character is probably less popular.
And a little outfit with his
would be a big
little nut bag is like
happen, but
it like stops like right where his vagina
Friday
starts.
The 13th, and, guys, honestly, what more do you want me to say about this? Jason Voorhees is one of the four faces of horror's Mount Rushmore. He's as big of a deal as a slasher
Quentin,
can be.
You don't know how many
DBD
people
isn't
tell
entirely
me,
complete
did you ever
without
play
him.
that game?
Without
I
doubt,
said, no,
this is the most monumental
really
licensed
easy.
behavior could still
so he
possibly
quit it.
But is it going to happen?
What do you mean? I'm
no,
like, he said he could run the killer.
The lawsuit surrounding Jason's rights may have ended for the time being, but there's no
and
way to know if it'll start up again.
Well, yeah, you
until
can kind
Victor
of do
Miller
some
comes
stuff
to
to the
some
killer,
kind of
but yeah, it was really fun. Well, yeah, if you could completely dominate the killer all the time, that seems like a lot of fun.
All of that being said, behavior has worked through complex legal issues in the past, like when they managed multiple studios to get Ash Williams in the game. So never say never. If there's ever been a time where Jason's addition was actually
bring my stamina back faster. So what I would do is I'd run towards big houses and I would turn on all the radios so they'd be making noise, and he would hear it and he would come over to the houses because it's making noise. And then when he would be chasing me, I'd be like, loop, loop, loop. And then, you know, they're watching you and your character's freaking out. And you're like, oh, look, I'm out of stamina. What am I going to do? Except for head into the middle of the house and back to full. And I'm like, you're never going to fucking catch me. I don't know why this is a thing. And then the best part was people would put like traps and shit down. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I see your trap right here outside the window. Jump through the window and land in the trap. And Buddy would come around me and like, oh look, I got you, bitch. He'd pick me up. I'd stab him with a knife. Heal myself in front of him, be teabagging and fucking around. He'd pick me up. I'd stab him with a knife. Heal myself again and run away. And then he'd be like, boom, boom, DC. I'm like, I don't think
actually doable. That time is now.
There's like
and then we have the last two remaining licenses.
Because I just keep fucking healing myself.
When you said you ran for 13 minutes, I was like, bro, come on. Like in Dead by Daylight, like my best game is probably 8 minutes. You know what I mean? Like you doubled it. Like there's no way.
Ironically, they couldn't be much less similar from one another.
But look, so let's look at this. Candyman, Friday the 13th, and it. When Friday the 13th, that thing did expire on the game, so that they can take it now if they want it. Are they going to get it? I'm going to say probably not, because it's a little iffy. Candyman, they could get easily.
But they're just not sure what to do with it.
No. I don't care about that. That doesn't matter in their decision making. So they say Candyman, maybe, and it. You know that this is the most expensive one, right? Because these are like old movies, and this is Stephen King's like brainchild, and it is, you know what I mean? This one's way too expensive.
A lot about why Candyman hasn't come out yet either is because Candyman's new movie and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a new movie, but that doesn't matter.
I know it's not going to make.
They can make this a new movie, and this can make a new movie. It is worth 5 times as much as these other two. You know that, right?
No, I'm not talking about the financial stuff. I'm sure the reason that they haven't actually gone and been like, hey, we're going to be adding him now is because the shit's going on and they don't want another Stranger Things situation.
All they got to do is go like, hello, Georgie. Or, hello, Georgie. Is that what he says? Hello, Georgie.
Hi, Georgie.
Hi, Georgie.
Something like that.
You ever seen Maximili do it on fucking Omegle? It's so funny. So, like, if I had to guess, just because of this, when it gets down to this, I agree this is the 3 for year 6. This is for year 6. Like, their big thing. So, if I look at this, I go either they get this or they don't. The Friday the 13th. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they'll go Candyman. But they can't go it. I think it is too expensive.
I think the controversy around the Friday the 13th shit is probably.
I think it's culminating. I think it's culminating. I know what you're talking about. There's like one guy owns the rights to the movie, one guy owns the rights to the music, and one guy owns the rights to the likeness or some shit like that. Yeah, it's a little crazy, but I would say my number one guess would be Friday the 13th. Number 2 would be Candyman, but I think it's gonna be Candyman, and then it won't be It because I think it's too expensive. I don't think they're gonna be like, "Hello, Georgie. Hello, Georgie."
Not to mention, he's another person where you think about it and it's like, no matter how you look at it, what the fuck would his power be?
Balloons. You would release these balloons, and if you ever got near a balloon, it would pop and you would like see the killer and they wouldn't really be there. I don't know if that's true, but I'm streaming right now. I want to say that's my opinion. You know what I mean?
You guys heard it here first. In 2030, it's going to have balloons.
Lion and yeah. So, yeah, balloons or something. But once again, guys, I'm trying to depict what I think is going to happen in the future. I think of these 3, if I said which one do I think would come through, it's Candyman. Close second is Friday the 13th, but it will never happen right now. I mean, it may happen in the future, but I think it's too close to the movies, and I think everything did too well, and I think it's worth a lot of money. So I think if it goes to another... But if Steven writes another book, I think you're just fucked.
One way. So one's a novel/film franchise. The other comes from the world of video games. One has been speculated to join the game for years. The other didn't gain traction until a few months ago. One is nearly universally loved, while the other is a lightning rod for hot takes. Hold on. Both bad and good.
I didn't see Five Nights at Freddy's down here.
Because it was dark.
One, I still pick these 3 above this one. Because the only way Five Nights at Freddy works is if you have multiple killers. Like Legion. You know how you have the different people in Legion? If you did Five Nights at Freddy's like Legion and gave different, like, the rabbit, the turtle, the whatever the fuck, you know. And I have a really funny thing to tell you. Tell me.
I know you don't follow the FNAF stuff because it's not really your thing, but the way that the games have been set up and the way that it's ramping, it actually makes a lot of sense if he was to, like, a certain character, either him or one of his disciples. More,
but a lot of them, right? Like that? Okay.
Because there's like a weird cult situation going on, and he's spreading his shit through video games. Like, it's getting really weird, and it definitely seems like it could reach out and, you know, branch real well. And the dude who created it actually just traded the rights of it over to some different people. So it seems even more likely now, especially with the new game and the shit that's going on, that we might see that more likely than we would probably see Friday the 13th or It.
Yeah, like I said, once again, if it was like the Legion, and they give like Susie and different, even if they're not much different, even if they're not much different, but they look different, I would agree. I would go Five Nights at Freddy. I would definitely go with Five Nights at Freddy. It makes more sense because you can charge for like 5 skins or something, right? Yeah. Yeah, and you fucking win with 5 skins. Like, it makes sense to do it like that.
Now I have the question of what kind of fucking... If it was the other people,
what are the
it would make more sense. No, not even just the powers.
I don't know what their powers are or what they do in Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I don't know. That would be the hard part.
Fuck, man. Because when you like... Oh, sorry, my bad.
No. Yeah. Sub Bogart, yeah.
It's just like, you're saying, if you just include like the normal characters, there's the bunny, the bear... the chicken,
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got
that's why I'm trying to
4?
like think of the basic people.
You got 4?
Yeah. I think I'm missing somebody.
It would make sense to charge like $4 a skin or $5 a skin and get all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get $20. You're like, that's like Fortnite money. You know what I mean?
The thing that really fucks me up about it is like, even if you're thinking of like the later games, like we were saying, the power is where it really starts to get weird because there's so many different variations of each of them through so many different games, and there's always a different take on some shit.
You know, this is why I lean towards Candyman, right?
Yeah, he would
because
be a lot easier
you only got to get one power. I think I'm gonna go Candyman. On the 6th year anniversary, I'm calling it right now. I'm calling Candyman because it just had a movie out. The movie did not kick ass. It did okay. I think we're gonna go with Candyman.
It. The other is Five Nights at Freddy's. For all of their differences, they both have one thing in common. They both make a lot of sense to be the upcoming chapter. I probably don't have to get into the details of Pennywise's
it is
to
way
DBD.
too expensive.
It's been an open secret for
doesn't make
multiple
sense
years
because there's
now.
too many killers.
More than one person behind the scenes of behavior would
Five
like
Nights at
to
Freddy's,
see
so I'd
Pennywise
say
added
these
to
two
the
and I
game.
go Candyman.
Given that the most recent
I'm going to say
remakes
Candyman. If I'm right, everybody owes me $1.
That an chapter would bring tons of eyes to the game. Having Pennywise, like the Deadlight, as the killer, and 2 members from the Losers Club as survivors, plus a map set in the Gary sewer system, is the recipe for an exciting, well-received chapter. My theories for this chapter are without evidence. Matthew McCote did mention that he wanted balloons for the 6th anniversary, and the image posted to DBD's Twitter of Yoshi in a raincoat certainly calls to mind images of Georgie. None of those things are exactly smoking guns, but behavior is famous for dropping subtle clues before big reveals, so don't count them out either. I know they sound ridiculous, but there's precedence for this kind of thing actually meaning something with behavior.
Do I think
of course,
will be
it wasn't
in Dead
just
by Daylight?
balloons
Of course
that
I think
Makoto
it
said
will.
he wanted, but
I definitely think it will.
this has led some to speculate that the FNAF chapter may well be on its way. This would follow Behavior's recent anniversary trends, as it would make the 3rd straight year Behavior added a massive video game franchise during the event. Add that in with the thunderous reception Springtrap received from some portions of the fan base, thought a previous chapter was going to be him, not Pinhead.
He's right here, he's on me, and then they're like, no, he died, you liar, and you're like, yeah,
but what do I think? I've made the case for numerous chapters here today.
Once again, I think Candyman is the easiest one to do. I think Five Nights at Freddy's, it's easy. You gotta make a bunch of killers.
Who I want it to be.
And then I think Friday the 13th is easy. You just
no
make
shortage of
Trapper,
I'd like to see this
better.
Year. My personal picks would be American Psycho, The Shining, Alien, or Friday the 13th. But I'd be extremely happy with almost any license from this master list, and quite a few off of it. In terms of who I think will be joining the game in a few months, let me phrase it like this. My head tells me it's Candyman. There's just too much smoke.
I'm saying it's Candyman. I agree. It's gotta be Candyman. They just had a movie out. It didn't do that good. Like everybody else, it made $1 billion. Pennywise's edition is not overdue. It is and right not now makes more sense than any time in the past. It is gonna fucking peter out
Brand
and
visibility
be the goddamn
is a massive
guy.
factor
You know what I
in
mean?
getting deals done. Something Bruce Campbell mentioned when discussing why he wanted Ash in Dead by Daylight. It and It Chapter 2 were 2 of the most relevant horror films of the past decade, so they didn't need DBD to further the hype train. They were doing fine on their own. Now, though, the movies have ended, and no future projects seem to be in the works. So this would be a perfect time for Pennywise to get in on the action and earn the studio some more money. In discussing It, we're talking about the type of home run chapter that rarely comes along. The killer is extremely iconic. The survivors are well known enough that they can be added without paying for the actors' likenesses. The map would be unique and exciting, and there's desire both from the fans and the devs to get this one done. The only reason this doesn't happen is if either the right holders aren't interested or Behavior has another license.
It's money. It's money. Look.
Potentially.
These people say this shit. It makes no sense. Like, if you look at, like, horror genre, you're like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason. They've been around forever. Hellraiser, you know what I mean? Hellraiser was cheap. Hellraiser should have been cheap. So, you have all that. So you go based on what your superiority is. Like, if a new Freddy came out, Freddy's number 1. You know what I mean? If a new Jason came out, Jason's number 1. But you know who came out? The goddamn gospel of fucking horror. Stephen King put out a new It that is insane. That's got to be the most expensive thing in the world for Dead by Daylight. And I wish they would I wish they would just be like, hey, it's only a game. 400,000, you got it. You know what I mean? But I think they're like, since we sold 3.8 times the tickets. You need to pay us $1 million. And they're like, shit, we can't fucking do that. You know, I think that's what happens. Because it makes no sense to not have him or Chucky in the game. And I think that when somebody said the little guy, Victor, is Chucky to practice, I hope so. Chucky's way cheaper than it, you know that, right? Like Chucky is like, to me, Chucky is cheaper than fucking Freddy. You know what I mean? Would you agree?
Yeah.
He should be. Chucky's gotta be fucking cheaper than Freddy. There's no fucking
the correct
way.
answers here, but my money's on Pennywise.
That,
or this will all have been...
Zarymore gave the option.
Because the new one with the drones.
Yes. He gave that option. I didn't even realize that because I didn't watch the movie. But yeah, with the drones, maybe. If not...
All you had to say was your tech guy, and I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, if not...
And the Scooby-Doo chapter all along.
So now we got...
But what do you think? Let me know down below if you agree with my reasoning here, or if you just think I am the dumbest human being to ever live. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time to watch this video. And if you're still here, hey, check out...
Look for whatever. I don't give a shit. So you know why I take it, right? Because, like, what else am I going to do? I have to deal with this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you can be like, I'm going to go play Elden Ring. Ha! Fuck you, Dark Souls. You know?
Yeah.
This is my only chance to... What are you... Bro, what are you doing?
This magic moment.
You like the Toy Story movies?
With your lips and close to mine, we last forever.
Don't panic.
Is this Andy?
I want you to move. I want you to move for me. If you don't respond, I'm gonna start killing all of your friends here. Move for me, Woody. Move for me. Do you think that I'm fucking playing? I saw you, Woody! I saw you in the toys playing with Sid!